Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really plunging into something foundational for, well, anyone in the professional world. It's that skill that can feel a bit like walking a tightrope sometimes, mastering small talk and networking, especially when you're navigating it all in a business English setting.
Oh, absolutely. This is a huge source of anxiety for so many people, isn't it? So this deep dive, it really pulls together some critical insights from resources focused squarely on effective business communication. And our mission, really, is to give you practical strategies, things you can actually use. We want to help you turn those moments that feel, potentially awkward into real, genuine connections.
Exactly. Think of it as a shortcut to building that confidence, building genuinely effective networks. It's about making small talk feel less like a chore and maybe even, dare I say, enjoyable.
That's the ideal, yeah. Because it often feels unscripted, and let's be honest, it can be quite stressful, particularly if English isn't your first language.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is exactly where those really valuable business relationships often kick off, where trust actually starts to form.
So let's dig into that. Why does small talk matter so much? It feels like just chit-chat, but it's clearly more than that.
It really is. Our sources frame it as a kind of secret door to big connections,
Yeah.
which I think is a great way to put it. We tend to underestimate its power.
We do. And there's data on this too, right?
There is, yeah. A LinkedIn survey found something like 85% of professionals see relationship building as critical for success. That's huge. But the key insight often missed is how most of those relationships start. It's with small talk. That simple, unassuming beginning.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Those moments that feel like nothing, waiting for a meeting, grabbing a coffee, walking into an event. We sometimes just want to, stare at our phones. But the source calls these golden opportunities for connection.
Exactly. Golden opportunities. But if you're struggling for words, what's the block? Often, I think, it's feeling like you need a script for something that's inherently unscripted.
Right. It feels spontaneous, which can be intimidating.
It can.
Yeah.
But that very spontaneity is where, as the source says, the magic happens. It's where trust begins because it feels, well, real, authentic.
Okay, so it's important we get that. How do we actually figure out what to say? That's the big question for many.
Right. And our expert source gives some really clear sort of safe categories to start with, things that work in most business settings.
Let's hear them.
Okay, first up, the environment. Super simple, low pressure. If you're physically there, maybe this venue is pretty impressive, isn't it? Something like that.
Sure, online.
Online, yeah. Just a simple, how's your day going so far? It's friendly, establishes a bit of common ground right away. And it's not just the observation, it's the opening it creates.
That makes sense. It's an invitation. Okay, what's next?
Shared experiences.
Yeah.
Especially if you're at the same event, conference, whatever, you automatically have something in common.
Like asking about a session.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you catch the keynote this morning? Or maybe, what did you think of that last session? It shows you're engaged.
No, for non-native speakers, is there a trick to phrasing those questions? Sometimes directness can feel a bit blunt in English, maybe.
That's a really good point. It's often less about what you ask and more how. So instead of maybe give me your opinion, which can sound a little demanding, try something softer. Like, what did you make of the keynote? Or did anything stand out to you? It invites more of a chat.
Subtle difference, but important. Okay, and the third category?
Gently asking about the job, not like an interrogation, just showing interest. So what brings you here today is a classic. Or tell me a bit about what you do.
And the goal isn't to deliver these lines perfectly, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
The key thing is to sound interested. And crucially, to actually listen to the answer. Active listening.
Okay, topic sorted. But making that first comment feel impactful, not just generic. How do we do that? There's a story about this, isn't there? Raj.
Oh, yes, Raj. Great example. He was a student, attended a virtual industry event, and in one of those short networking breakouts, he ended up talking to a VP.
Okay.
Could be. But all he said was, that presentation made me rethink how we use data. Just that. Specific. Thoughtful.
And what happened?
That one sentence, that specific comment, it led to a LinkedIn connection. And that connection eventually led to an interview.
Wow. Okay, so that shows the power of moving beyond just nice weather we're having.
Precisely. It showed genuine engagement with the event's content. It connected on a professional level immediately.
That's really inspiring. But, not everyone feels they have that killer insight ready to go. Where do they start building the confidence for even the simpler openers?
Yeah, good question. Confidence isn't about being perfect right away. It's about practice. Consistent, deliberate practice. Our sources talk about confidence being like a muscle. You got to work it.
So practical steps.
Definitely. Try practicing some of those starter phrases out loud at home. Maybe record yourself on your phone.
Oh, the dreaded recording.
I know. It feels weird at first. But listen back. You'll probably notice you sound smoother, more natural, even just by the third try. It helps internalize the flow, the rhythm.
Makes sense. And what about introducing yourself? That initial moment.
Crucial. Craft a concise intro. We're talking like 20 to 30 seconds. Tops. Who you are, basically what you do, and maybe what you're interested in or curious about. Think of it as your verbal professional handshake.
Yeah.
Clear, warm, invites them in.
Is there a template or framework?
Yeah, a simple one could be, hi, I work in your field, helping people with a specific problem or area. I'm always curious about how others are tackling a related concept. Keep it simple, professional, but, human.
And for non-native speakers, practicing that helps with pronunciation, pacing too, I imagine.
Absolutely. So it doesn't sound rushed or like you're just reading facts. It needs to flow naturally.
Okay, this is all great practical stuff. Now, let's talk about the potential minefields. Cultural tips, pitfalls to avoid. This feels really important, especially in international business.
Hugely important. First big one. Avoid the really personal or controversial stuff.
Yeah.
Politics, religion. Generally steer clear, especially when you first meet someone.
Yeah, easy way to shut things down fast.
Totally. And remember, interpretations vary wildly across cultures. The goal is connection, right? Not a debate.
Right. What else?
Don't hog the conversation. It's a dialogue, not your chance for monologue. Ask open-ended questions, those what or how questions, and then actually genuinely listen to the answer. Show you're interested in them.
That seems obvious, but it's easy to forget when you're nervous. And what if your mind goes blank? You forget a word. Happens to everyone.
It absolutely does. Don't panic.
Yep.
The source suggests a simple, graceful way out. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Yes, that's it. Own it lightly.
Okay, just acknowledging it.
Exactly. And for non-native speakers, sometimes the perfect word just won't come. That's okay. Maybe try something like, forgive me, the exact English term is escaping me, but what I mean is, honestly, showing that bit of humility and resilience, that often builds more connection than having flawless vocabulary anyway.
Oh, I've definitely done the, what's that word, dance. It breaks the tension a bit, actually.
It really can. And remember, it's not just words. Nonverbals are huge.
Like eye contact, smiling.
Yes. Breathe. Smile. Make reasonable eye contact, though. Be aware this varies culturally, too, right? What's normal in one place might feel intense elsewhere. And it's okay to have moments of silence. Don't feel you need to fill every single gap.
Good reminder, it's not about speed.
Not at all. Confidence comes across in connection, in presence, not how fast you talk. Being observant and adaptable with those nonverbals is key.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's try and pull these threads together. What are the core takeaways for you listening right now?
Okay, first, treat small talk seriously. It's your gateway to trust, to opportunities. It's not just filler.
Second, have those safe topics ready. Think environment, shared events, professional roles. Use open-ended questions. Get them talking.
Third, craft and practice that short self-introduction, your verbal handshake. Make it clear, confident, human.
Fourth, be culturally mindful. Be respectful. Avoid those taboo topics. And be forgiving of yourself if you stumble over a word. Sincerity counts.
And finally, maybe the biggest one, remember that confidence. It's a muscle. Every single chat, every interaction is a chance to strengthen it.
Absolutely. So as you go into your next meeting, your next event, your next coffee break, try to see those small talk moments differently. They aren't just conversations to get through. They're exercises. They're investments in building that confidence muscle and building trust. They're pathways to genuine connection and understanding. So here's something to think about. How could a few simple, thoughtfully chosen words from you potentially unlock a whole new realm of professional possibility?